Force is definitely strong with this one. I'm quite nervous to be doing this video, and that's because I'm relatively new to Star Wars. I kind of fell in love with Star Wars about 3 months ago, and I've really thought about very little else. It's very bizarre. I haven't fallen this hard and with such force for a fandom or a franchise since Doctor Who in 2005. So for me to be kind of enveloped in this so suddenly is a very magical experience, and I'm very excited. There's a lot for me to explore, and Rise of Skywalker, it came at the perfect time for me, so I'm really looking forward to discussing it and hopefully having some chats in the comments. But also, I feel like my views may be completely different to basically every other Star Wars fan. Having said that, that may not be the case. We may agree on a lot of things. This will 100% contain spoilers, because there are certain things that I do wish to discuss, certain things that made me very happy. So if you haven't seen the film yet, please go and watch it. I mean, I thoroughly recommend it, but if you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to see it anyway. So Rey, Finn and Poe Dameron are back, and I love their dynamic. Unfortunately though, Palpatine is also back, and he has now ordered Kylo Ren to go and kill Rey. So I will say I know a lot of people have got strong opinions about the Return of Palpatine and how really they shouldn't have done that. Personally, I don't really have any strong opinions about the character. I don't mind the fact that he was brought back, even if it was in a kind of peculiar way. Personally, I thought that was fine, and I think the execution of the narrative worked very well. I think they handled that character really well. I was more emotionally involved in Kylo Ren, and you could see how conflicted he was. I mean, you could see in the previous film, in The Last Jedi, that he, you know, there was a lot going on in his head, and rightly so. But here it's very evident, and I kind of felt like for the most part he was acting out of force, not the force, but just because he felt like it was the only choice he had, rather than because it's what he genuinely believed in, and I think the character development there was great. I will say, and as I said, spoilers, I think his somewhat romantic encounter with Rey was really forced. It was really unnecessary. I feel like the writers sat down and kind of went, oh, we need to have some kind of love, romance, something really positive in that aspect in this film, so let's do it there. And honestly, I think it would have been better left unsaid. I think that would have been nicer. But apart from that, I think that development worked really well for me. I really think J.J. Abrams did a fantastic job with this. Visually, absolutely gorgeous. Such a beautiful film. And I feel like that's the same about the films that came before this. Obviously it's the 21st century, they're going to look a little bit more snazzy than, say, A New Hope. But visually it was a great journey, and the music as well was just stunning. I love C-3PO as ever. One thing in this that I did not predict was the return of Han Solo, and that moment took my breath away, and I thought it was beautiful. And I did say this would contain spoilers. There were a few characters that were brought back that I just thought, yes, they've done that really perfectly, and it's a really good way to kind of round off this saga. Obi-Wan? What? Where? How? I think Obi-Wan kind of should have been there somehow. But other than that, I wasn't left feeling like they'd missed anybody else out, or that they hadn't, you know, kind of plugged a gap. The execution was just everything I could have asked for. The big thing for me with this is that they had to handle Leia correctly. Leia is basically the reason I fell in love with Star Wars. I took one look at Carrie Fisher in A New Hope and went, just, good God, I love you, you're beautiful, you're perfect. And ever since then I've been exceptionally emotionally invested in this character's journey. And we kind of knew that this was going to be the end for General Organa. How were they going to do it? I think they did it very well. I mean, my only complaint with this film is there was not enough Leia in it, but that is 100% completely acceptable. And I think what they did with the footage, the archive footage that they had, was great. I did read 1 or 2 reviews that said it kind of felt forced, and it didn't, especially when she was speaking with Rey, it didn't feel right, like they were just kind of wedging her in there. But actually, I personally think if you didn't know it wasn't actually Carrie Fisher standing there, you wouldn't be able to tell. I'm really pleased with what they did and how it worked out, and I thought, and I hope that she is happy with it, and I can't imagine a more powerful send-off for that character. everything about this film was amazing. Most of the film, for me personally as a new fan, was perfect. Obviously I've had 3 months of this massive roller coaster ride of emotions, and to be taken from falling in love with it to seeing essentially the end of it in 3 months is... I still haven't kind of come down from this high yet, and I probably won't for a long time because it's incredible. But for me, it ticked all of the boxes. I love it, obviously recommend it. Rise of Skywalker, the Force is definitely strong with this one.